obviously an 18-time All-Star, the first 18 years of his career, AL MVP in '77, and he finished his career with 3,053 hits. The guy next in line on the hits list, Alex Rodriguez, 3,035. Rich, Rod Carew joins us right now.
Yeah, he's on the phone. How are you, Rod?
Pretty good, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing fine. What an honor to have you on this program and to call in. What does this day mean to you?
Well, you know, it's as I go back and look at it, I remember sitting in Detroit talking to Reggie Jackson, and I was really frustrated with baseball at the time. And I told him, I think I'm going to just walk away from the game. And Reggie looked at me and says, "Are you crazy?" He says, "You're just a few hits away from 3,000. You know, you got to hang around. You got to make sure that you do it." He says, "That's your ticket to the Hall of Fame." So Reggie's the one that actually talked me into not giving up. You know, I was tired. My body was hurting, and I was just really frustrated. So, you know, my thanks to my pal Reggie Jackson, because he really helped push me through.
Well, he's a straw that stirs a drink, as you know, Rod. He stirs.
Yes, he is. he stirred it that day.
So you were really thinking of just of retiring, that you didn't want to stick around anymore? I did not know that, Rod.
Yeah, you know, I was going through a period where things weren't going good. I wasn't swinging the bat good, you know, and I just didn't want to hang around like a lot of guys do just for the sake of achieving something. You know, I really wanted to go out on top. And even though getting 3,000 hits would, you know, put me out on top, I was, you know, I had some questions there that I really had to ask myself.
And at one point, did you think about anything other than just the Hall of Fame that kept you in the mix, Rod?
Well, you know, I don't think any of us as players, when we start playing a game, think about getting to the Hall of Fame. I think what we think about is going out and trying to do our jobs consistently, and that's what I felt like I did for the 18, 19 years that I played the game. So the Hall of Fame wasn't in the back of my mind. You know, I was just frustration was in the back of my mind at the time.
I've got Rod Carew here on the Rich Eisen Show. 18 consecutive All-Star games, Rod. Which outside of the hits do you think something that's on your resume that you're most proud of?
Well, you know, I remember playing a game against the White Sox at the old Met Stadium in Minnesota, and I was I was above the 400 mark. I think I was about 407, and then I had 4 hits that day and received about 5 to 6 standing ovations. And that's the thing that really, you know, sits in the back of my mind. I tell people all the time, you know, because they saw me come in as a young player. They saw me as a rookie coming in, learning how to play the game, and they saw me achieving things that they were happy to be able to share with me on that, you know, particular day. So that's the thing that really stands out in my mind. Not the silver bats in the Hall of Fame, but the way people reacted to me that day at Met Stadium.
What do you think the difference between being a good hitter and a great hitter is? What is that fine line that you were able to find, Rod?
Well, I think if you ask any good hitter, if you ask Boggs, if you had asked Tony Gwynn, Ichiro, Mattingly, any of those guys, they will tell you the same thing. It's what we put into it. You know, I took extra batting practice maybe 5-6 days of the week because I was always trying to concentrate on keeping myself in tune and also making sure that pitchers didn't find an easy way to get me out. So, you know, when I took extra batting practice, it was to experiment on a lot of different things at the plate. Have pitchers throw me certain pitches to see what I could do with them. And, you know, that's what most good hitters do. I went down to San Diego several times, and I watched Tony Gwynn in the batting cages 4 hours before anybody else got there, and that's what he was doing. And that's what good hitters do. I mean, we have the talent, but we put a lot of hard work into trying to maintain that high level of what we're accustomed to doing on the field.
I'm on the phone with Rod Carew. We'll talk about your Children's Cancer Golf Classic set for Pelican Hill in Newport Beach on Monday, August 24th in a second. Who was the toughest pitcher for you? Who was the guy that you
Well,
woke up and you're like, uh-oh, I can't, I don't know if I want to face this guy today?
Rudy May. When Rudy May was on the mound, I took a day off.
Is that right?
For some reason, this guy, he was a left-handed pitcher. He had great stuff. Rudy was supposed to have been one of the, up-and-coming left-handers in the American League, but it never really got to that point. But for some reason, whenever I faced him, he hit the ball so well on me. I didn't pick the ball up until the last split second, and he just owned me. And so whenever Rudy was playing, Gene Mauch would come to me and he says, "Pro, I'm sitting you down today.
Pro.
You're not doing good against this guy."
And what about here and now, Rod? Who if you have the time to turn on television and watch some baseball, who do you like swinging the bat currently as a major leaguer right now?
Well, right now, Mike Trout. I love what he does. He drives the ball to the opposite field. He drives the ball to left field. He drives the ball to center field. He has a great idea of what he's trying to do at the plate. And, he's using the whole field, which is keeping him consistent as far as the offensive part of this game goes. So I really enjoy sitting down and watching this kid. He puts a lot into it, a lot of thought, a lot of work on what he's trying to do at the plate.
Well, the name Mickey Mantle always gets thrown around with him. Would you agree with that assessment, Rod?
Well, I'll tell you, he's right there because, Mickey Mantle could do everything on the field. And Mike Trout, in his young career right now, that's what he's doing, and he's doing it consistently. And I just love the way he plays the game. He reminds me so much of Derek Jeter when Derek Jeter came up. Played the game hard every day, ran down the first baseline hard every time, whether it's a tapper back to the first baseman or a little ground ball to the second baseman. And I tell kids that all the time. Watch the way Derek Jeter plays the game, and that's exactly the way that Mike Trout's playing the game today.
All right, let's talk about your Children's Cancer Golf Classic. It's the 20th anniversary of this event, raised over $3 million for pediatric cancer since its inception. And this is obviously in the memory and honor of your youngest daughter, Michelle, who passed away at the age of 18 with cancer. And I'd love to give you the floor on what this event means for you, Rod.
Well, Rich, it's been very important to me because, the 7 months that I spent at Children's Hospital, I saw all these children walk in the hallways, and they have their hockey sticks and they have, their bats and they have their gloves and they're rolling balls in the hallway. And as I'm checking Michelle in, she looked at me and she says, "Daddy," she says, "no matter what happens to me, I want you to help all these kids." And it really took me aback because, here's a 17-year-old girl that doesn't know what's going to happen, but she's concerned about the other kids that are going through the same, having the same problems as she's having. So I looked at her and I said, "Honey," I said, "I don't know if I can do that." She said, "Well, you have to," because, at the time, I didn't really have a great relationship with the press as a player because I was a little aloof and standoffish. And I didn't know how I would be able to go out and talk to the press and then I finally said, "You know what? Okay, that's what you want. That's a promise I'll make you." And so that's what I've been doing the last 20 years, trying to give some of these children a chance at realizing their dreams, because there's so many of them out there that are getting these different blood cancers. And so research is the best way to help them. And that's why we have the golf tournament. And through research, we're saving more children. So people ask me a lot of time, why Michelle? Why did she have to go so young? And I said, I don't have the answers. The only person that has the answers is my friend upstairs. And maybe it was for a reason. And so when I hear that we've saved a child's life, that's one of my children. So I didn't lose a daughter. I've just gained so many children over the years that we've been able to save.
PCRF-kids.org is for more information, again, on the Rod Carew Children's Cancer Golf Classic, the 20th anniversary edition set for August 24th at Pelican Hill in Newport Beach. Before I let you go, the day of your 3,000th hit was also Tom Seaver having his big day, right, Law? Didn't that
Yeah,
happen?
Tom Seaver this day had his
Yeah,
300th
that's
win.
right.
His
So Tom and I shared that day.
His 300th win on the same
Yeah.
day, Rod. What are the odds of
And-
that?
Well, here's another great one. Here's a guy that worked at it. He was constant. He was, when he went out there, you knew that you had a battle on your hand. And I was fortunate to have been able to face him when he was at the White Sox, and we had some battles. But it was a great day to share with a great player and a great friend and a great person. So it was all around. It was just a very good day for both of us.
Well, you're a great player, Rod, and an even better man, even a better person. And thank you for calling into this show. I'd love to, if you're ever in the Los Angeles area, have you in person. And this show's home affiliate is right there in the area, right in Orange County. And hopefully more and more people will come to your event because of it. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much, Rich, and I appreciate it. I just want you to know I've watched you for quite a few years, and I really enjoy the work that you do.
Wow. I appreciate that, Rod. Thanks so much. So I'm going to keep at it. And if I do ever retire, Rod, I'm going to announce the year before I retire so I can have a farewell tour. Do you have a problem with players having farewell tours, Rod?
I didn't have one, but I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a great tribute to the player that has stayed around for a very long time and has done his job consistently. Yeah, I take my hats off to those guys that when they do have one for them.
Thank you, Rod. I appreciate you calling into the show.
Okay, pal. Have a great day.
Same. Thank you for the kind words. That's Rod Carew, Hall of Famer.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.